I'm better turn my camera on. Actually, turn on camera. If somebody recommended a topic.
Oh, the weeklies got resetted.
I remember what the
The
topic was.
Halo weeklies, man.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the Halo weeklies.
That was Turbo Sean. Right. Music. Okay.
I'm
we'll
gonna
do
use
that
this.
next.
Yeah, this doesn't work.
Oh, hello, chat. How's it
There
going?
we go. Oh, chat. Hello,
they're all
chat.
Did I hit the
here.
right button? Yes, I hit the right button. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes, they were getting some more Halo XPs.
Yeah, I saw you say that as I was like half trying to fall asleep last night. I
Yeah,
couldn't. But...
I had already taken my NyQuil and I was in bed. So like, well, I'm not getting out of bed to write this or anything, but yeah, it looks nice. I do wish that there was at least just like get 50 more points if you won a game. But
yeah,
it's fine.
No.
But it's
elitism.
Yeah, it's weird though, just because like I agree that progression isn't great, but like then you go on like Reddit /r/Halo and they are so whiny about it that it's like I almost want to be like, never mind, this isn't actually a problem. I just I'm going to take the opposite side of you guys.
Yep, that's kind of
whatever.
A little bit too, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't think it's that huge of a deal.
I mean, it's like I think it is like not great progression, and they should fix it.
I don't like it.
This is the worst. Like there was the one person that were like, "This is a new low in gaming." It's like, okay,
chill out,
guys, chill out. Jesus Christ!
Oh my god, gamers are so whiny all the time.
You remember when everyone freaked out about horse armor, man? Everyone lost their goddamn minds about that horse armor.
Oh yeah,
Man.
That was such a.
Oh man.
If only we knew.
Now we live in the horse armor.
It is the horse armor.
Now we are the horse armor.
Yeah, we were horse armor all along. All right, let's bring up our video.
I'm ready to go.
Fix this. Let me just do
Hi,
this
everybody.
button, and then no, that's. Oh no, I gotta click here. That was close enough.
Guys, you can like this video, but if you dislike it, we'll never know.
Why would it be using that camera? Hello.
Well, no.
All right. You know what? It must be in here. Yeah, it is. That's why it wasn't working. Oh, is that camera not plugged in?
Changing the angle now? What's going on?
No, it's just using the wrong camera. Let me fix this.
God damn it, Chef. Use the correct camera.
I'm all alone.
I tell you about your camera station. Keep it clean.
Man, Halo is so good.
It's a good game.
I found my favorite thing to do now, and it's when there's a wasp on the map and somebody is like, the enemy is driving the wasp, I like to use the grappling hook to steal it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's
very good.
Jeff, that camera's better, but you kind of look dark.
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
I'm getting super laggy matches though. I don't know why. Yesterday I was getting like over 200 ping all the time. It was so annoying. I have a clip where I punch a guy. I have a guy where I clip where I punch a guy and like a full second later the guy dies and flies away. It's really good.
At least it looks good when the guys fly away in that game. The ragdolling is really fantastic.
Yeah, ragdoll is top notch. It's
they're pretty good ragdolling.
Mike, you want to just angle your camera down a little bit if that's possible? Just think it'd be better.
Show you your junk.
I think the angle is as low as it goes.
Okay. Then don't do anything then.
Thank you. I do look good in blue. I agree with that. This is my beach club shirt, my favorite hotel in Walt Disney World. In case you were wondering. Lake's head has some great shine on it today. It sure does. I'll tell you what. I know. I have like this webcam has a front camera. I don't like using it because it's kind of bright. It probably would look better if I use that
front light.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need one of those TikTok ring lights.
I need to turn down myself a little bit. That's basically what's on that camera that he has, I think.
There's
a tiny little ring light.
Yeah, it's a ring light on the camera.
Yeah.
There's two people desperately typing in the Discord, probably trying to get some questions in here. Don't worry, guys.
And then if I talk like this, the levels are good.
Look at the wrinkly it is. This can't be.
Yeah, you look like a real piece of shit.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Is Mike fired because he missed that yesterday?
I missed a meeting yesterday because I was sick. And just like, no, Mike did. I was like, Jeff, when you miss meetings, you just forget.
Well, you said you were going to be there, so we assumed that.
I was going to try to. It turns out that.
You lied.
Turns out my NyQuil finally kicked in, and I fell asleep and was unable to wake up.
All right. Let's see here. I think I'm pretty much good to go.
Dead dog pog.
Dead dog pog. That's right.
I'm gonna grab something to eat.
Good. Get out of here.
Later, Christian. Man, food sounds good. I have to make this podcast go snappy because I'm ready to eat. Mike, I'm still a little bit hot. Let me turn it down a little bit. Let me just turn it down here.
I am. Let's see. Getting one more question in. I'm
What do you want to watch? All right, everybody, we're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Just a second.
The kiddo needs to watch something.
Yeah, I'm going to put on Gabby's Dollhouse, where they go to the Dollhouse Hotel, which is one of her favorite things to do in the world, is to go to hotels.
Hotels are great. Yeah. I love going to hotels myself. It always feels like I'm on vacation.
Yeah, she associates it with adventures, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I love hotels. I'm wearing a shirt for a hotel right now. Clearly, I love hotels. An erotic thriller. Last minute Nintendogs, an erotic thriller. That's nice. How mad is Nick Turbo that I played 4 hours of SMT5 and haven't played anymore? I've been too busy playing KOTOR.
All right. I think we're good to go. Let's do the countdown. I'll hit record. I'll hit the Christmas music, and then Mike will remember what to do. I'm counting on him.
I remember.
I'm counting on him, everybody. Okay. I have stream elements here. I'm good to go. I've tweeted. Let's do this. Okay. 5, 4, 3.
Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. This week, what is happening with Nintendo at the Game Awards? Also, a surprise Nintendo-themed Grammy nomination, and we are talking about our favorite Nintendo game endings. Jeff, how is it going? How were the holidays, my friend?
I'm going real well. I think we should. Mike was sick yesterday, so if it sounds like he's speaking all his lines phonetically, it's just him letting his mouth catch up with his brain. I think we're gonna give him a lot of slack today because he's doing this podcast. He didn't have to do it. You were sick yesterday. You were out of work. You could have taken today off.
So no, I'm good. I feel better today. Good. My voice is it's a little strained right now, and I imagine as the further I get into this, the worse it's probably going to get, but we'll get through this. I'm not doing any Toad voices today. I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough. And I don't think if I did it, people would be able to hear it anyhow, because the NVIDIA broadcast, for some reason, does not consider that a human voice. So
how strange.
Yes, how strange. How odd.
How odd is that? But yes, the holiday were good, though. You had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. It was busy. It was a really busy for me because my wife got sick, and so kind of kept me on my toes the entire time. The good news there is for the most part through those days when I was like kind of nonstop doing stuff around the house or whatever, like putting up Christmas decorations, things like that, is the Halo review build I have. It was turned off, so I couldn't be playing it anyhow. I wouldn't have had time, so it was like good that it was turned off. And then when it got turned back on Sunday, I sat down and started playing some more of it. But then also I did spend some time in the eShop. There were a lot of deals starting on Black Friday through like Cyber Monday. They're going to be going. I think most of them are still going like through today as we're recording this, and even tomorrow. I think December 1st, or actually that'd be like 2 days from now. So a lot of those deals are still going. I did pick up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Yes, I got that. It was $40. It's not as cheap as I was hoping it would get, but whatever. I picked up American Fugitive, which is like an old GTA 1 / GTA 2 style game. That was like $2, and that's like really good because that game's super solid. But there's a ton of stuff. And I discovered a website that's actually really good for this. It's called DekuDeals.com. It was it like tracks and lets you know how low these games, like the lowest prices they've ever been, if they're matching it or not or anything like that. And so I've been just kind of trolling through there, kind of saying, hey, is there anything I want to pick up? But yeah, it's kind of been my time since Thanksgiving, since we last recorded. How about you?
Yeah, no, it was good. I had a great time. I think I caught this bug from one of the disease sponges / nephews or nieces.
Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, I can't complain too much. Like, I wasn't like ever like super like I was never stomach sick, right? I was just nasally like throat hurt, exhausted sick, which is a better sick to have, I guess. So
yes,
I'll go with that at least.
Yeah, the weird thing for me is my kids. Emmy got really sick. Addie then got sick, and I thought it was the same thing. But then Addie gave whatever her different thing was back to Emmy. Emmy got sick again. Then my wife got sick, and so far I have not really had to deal with what they've had to deal with, and I'm just like waiting for that bomb to go off. But I'm like, I'm not like a healthy person.
I think all that Arby's has built up your immunity.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. That's what it is.
All that good food.
Arby's saves lives, is what we've always said on this show. And I think it's finally where we have some evidence. I'm gonna publish it in a journal. I think I'm gonna write to Scientific America and see if we can get them to publish this. But yeah, now I'm ready to talk about Nintendo now, Mike. So what's going on today?
I will say we forgot. You said don't forget my lines. I forgot to woof woof. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, you don't woof woof. You from the beginning you said you weren't. You were gonna go. Oh wait, are you guys just say woof woof like that? You do say that. Did you forget to do that?
I forget to say woof woof.
Okay. Yes.
From the beginning, I never was going to woof like an actual dog. But
right.
I was gonna
exactly.
say the words.
Okay.
And we forgot to do that today also. So. Yes, I apologize, everybody.
The shame. Oh well, we started over. The chat says, no, go to hell.
Now. Yeah, fuck you.
No, we just live with our mistakes. Yeah, that's how it is here. We live with our shame.
Yes, Jeff. We don't have a ton of Nintendo news here, but we got some fun stuff to talk about. Why don't we get to that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So first off, here, Jeff Keighley's been talking about he has a world premiere.
No, you can't do that.
What was that noise?
She comes up with my like, instead of getting canned air, I got like a USB charger like blower thing to blow the dust out of my computers and stuff. And she comes up my arm and pulls the trigger, and it just goes right into the mic. Now I don't know if chat got that, because NVIDIA Broadcast is really good at getting that. But I'm like, oh, that's gonna knock Mike off of whatever he's about to say.
That kind of like that. I was like, what the hell is that? Okay,
yeah, it had to sound like a train coming through. All right, go sit down.
Can you believe I'm doing a second podcast later tonight? Oh boy, my poor voice. We got this. All right, so Jeff Keighley's been talking about how he has a world premiere for the Game Awards that he has been working on for 2.5 years. Jeff, a lot of people are speculating that it is Zelda, because that kind of corresponds to when Zelda, the Breath of the Wild sequel was announced. What do you think is happening here?
I don't think it's Zelda, because I think the timing and like with the E3 trailer and what would they show, I guess they could announce the name here, right? They could do that stuff, but
name, maybe release date. At this point, they could say holiday 2022 at least, right?
Yeah. For some reason, though,
they even pick a date in the holiday at this point, right? They could say November 21st.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But all that said, I just feel like I don't think it's Zelda, but it's fun to speculate. Maybe it could be. And if it is, like, what would they do? And yeah, I think it would be something like release date, something like a name.
At least name.
Yeah, at least name, right. And then, the new trailer that, like, because if they're going to talk about the name, and the reason they've been holding back the name is because it's going to be like reveal something about the world or something. Well, they'll probably show us that thing in the world as well in the trailer. So, yeah, I guess that's all possible. But if it's not that, what else from Nintendo do you think it could be? If it's something from Nintendo, which we don't, we're assuming it could be, but it doesn't have to be.
I still think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the most likely Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
To be shown here. I don't think that's what Jeff Keighley is talking about here. No. This thing he's been working on for 2.5 years. I mean, it literally could be anything. If it's not Zelda, I don't think there's anything big enough to be what he's talking about here with all that anticipation and everything, or something that Nintendo would be working with him on for that long.
Right.
So I almost don't think that this is a Nintendo related thing. Breath of the Wild might still be there, but I don't know if this is it. People like this. I think just because that timing worked out, a lot of people are really throwing Breath of the Wild 2 in there, and that makes some sense, but I'm a little skeptical.
Maybe. Or maybe it was just 2.5 years of Jeff Keighley working with Chris Pratt on the Mario voice, and we're going to finally hear that. That's what this is really all about. That's my bet. I'm going to Vegas for that money. That's my bet.
We could see a trailer for that movie.
We could. I hope we do. I think that would be I mean, it wouldn't be the perfect necessarily like a showcase for it in terms of promoting a movie, but in terms of reacting to it out of nowhere, because by the way, I think we might be reacting to that. We'll be watching, at least I will be. If Mike wants to join me, I don't know. It's an evening. But I like signed up to co-stream, and Jeff Keighley sent me a digital badge, so we'll be watching that live. But like, if that pops up in the middle of that show, it'll be like, oh my god, here it is! I can't wait to see what this is, and whatever they end up doing, whatever Chris Pratt ends up sounding like, it'll be incredible. But that's me just kind of getting my hopes up there. I have no idea really what Nintendo could bring. I think if I were to like put my guess out there 100%, like say, oh, this is what I think is going to happen, other than Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or whatever it is, it would be a release date and like maybe something new for Kirby, that Kirby game that they revealed.
Yeah, so, trust me, I'd love to see some more of Kirby. And I keep wanting to call it the Forgotten City. It's the Forgotten Land, I think.
Thank you. I forgot the subtitle. Yeah, I was just because it got rated by the ESRB. I feel like maybe that release date's coming up faster than we were expecting. Maybe, and now's the time to show it off. Like, it's the first time Kirby's going in 3D. Maybe you want to I
was literally thinking about that game in the shower today. So while I was slathering my naked body with soap, that's what I was thinking about.
It's the least surprising thing I've ever heard, is that's what you were thinking about while doing that. So yeah.
Good. All right, Jeff, next up here, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Fans have been working to decompile the entire game, and that project is now done. That means that mods for Ocarina of Time can now get really crazy.
All right, Nintendo, people who work at Nintendo, shut off the podcast. I'm very excited about this. I hope they release the PC version like they did with Mario 64. That PC port is so great. You can do so much stuff with that. It also feels like, this is preserving the game in the best possible way for the longest period of time, and now they're doing the same thing with Zelda Ocarina of Time. I mean, I was playing it again on the 3DS, but now I'm like, oh, I might start it over if they come out with this PC port and just load it with mods or whatever and just make it look super pretty. Maybe even like, I hope someone does a mod to make it look like, do you remember the Space World demo for Zelda, where it was like really polygonal and it was kind of like really primitive looking?
Yes, I do remember that. Not the famous GameCube one, the 64 one. Yes,
the 64 one, completely. Yeah, it just looked like maybe he was made out of 18 polygons like slapped together, and I'm like, maybe I could get it to look like that, because that's kind of something that as a kid I always had that in my head, and of course it ended up looking way better than that, but just in my head I'm like, that looks kind of neat how it's just so primitive looking. But I don't know, this is fantastic. This work is awesome. I'm so glad there are people out there doing this. I do wonder like what they would do next, but I'm like, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, it's basically everything that you said. In terms of what next, I guess that like it might be easy for that whole team just to move on to Majora's Mask, right? Like, must be. I have no idea what goes into decompiling a game, but I imagine, considering the similarities between those two, it must be somewhat easier to do that than to say like decide they're going to suddenly decompile Star Fox 64 or what have you.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, these are the two obvious games, and then we'll just kind of see what they're going to do next.
All right, Jeff. 13 Sentinels. I can't. This is a word that's used in video games constantly. I guess Aegis, Aegis. I don't know,
Aegis,
and I
yeah.
never know how to pronounce it. It's one of those words that I've read a zillion times because of Japanese video games. I don't know what an Aegis or an Aegis is. It's constantly in game titles and usually in the subtitles. But 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim is coming to the Switch on April 12th. This is by that company that did Odin Sphere and what was the one with the ridiculous body proportions, the beat 'em up Dragon's
Crown? Dragon's Crown. Yes, Dragon's Crown, right.
That's it. Yeah,
so the guys witch with the stuff really on her chest. Yeah,
it's really pretty 2D games. Jeff, people love this game, 13 of Sentinels. I heard so much incredible things about it, and I was basically waiting for a Switch port. That was like my excuse for not wanting to play this, because I was very cozy with JRPGs on my Switch, and my waiting has worked out. It's here, and I am very excited for this coming out in April.
Yeah, I'm going to be happy to listen to you talk about this. I don't need to play this one myself. I do know people love it though, and in terms of if I were to play a game like this, which my understanding is mostly a visual novel, that's right. Is that correct?
I think there's a lot of text. I don't know if I would call it mostly visual novel. I don't know very much about it, to be honest. Okay. I don't know.
I know the story's incredible.
Blind on it, and I've been keeping myself blind on it because I know I want to play it. I just was waiting for Switch port, so here we are.
Right.
Also, by the way, Aegis.
Yeah, go ahead. Aegis, yes,
and it's the shield of Athena.
Yeah, and according to Merriam-Webster, now in modern terms, it refers to the protection, backing, or support of a particular person or organization. But yes, in classical literature, it was the shield of Athena.
It's shield, and evokes all the things that a shield evokes.
Exactly. And Aegis, yeah, okay. It's apparently it has a very good story, and also on top of that, it's a story that only really works as a video game. And I'll be very excited to hear you try this out. And even if you bounce off of it, I know a lot of people like it, so it's cool that it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, so that's something I'm looking forward to now. So Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to be getting a 13.0.1 patch in the nearest future. This is going to be the final balance patch, which means this will probably be the less super significant patch for the game. Obviously outside of the character. We knew they were done adding characters. This should be the last final patch, unless they mess something horrible up here and that they go back in. So interesting. It's kind of a big deal, right? Because there's been a lot of balance patches, so there's been a lot of different states of the game, right?
Yeah, this is going to be
the final state.
Yeah, this is going to be its state for posterity. This is what the game is going to be when people go back to play it from now on. This is what it's going to be, and that's that's significant. That's interesting. That's we got to kind of. Hopefully they get things right, and then there's nothing that people maybe they add tripping in this one, Mike, and then they just leave it in and they never come back to it.
Maybe they should. That'd almost be funny.
That would be funny.
God, that'd be incredible. All right, Jeff, this is maybe my favorite story this week.
All right, let me have it.
Meta Knight's Revenge, an arrangement from Kirby Superstar by the 8-bit big band featuring Button Masher, has been nominated for the Grammy for Best Arrangement, Instrumental or Acapella. That's incredible. It's up against arrangements of Chopsticks, a song from Braveheart, and some songs called Infinite Love and The Struggle Within.
Braveheart. All right,
Jeff, it's incredible going to the Grammys website and looking at the nominations and seeing the words Meta Knight's Revenge from Kirby Superstar.
Yeah, that is incredible. I'm trying. Okay, can you vamp a little bit while I try to get it? I just want to play 30 seconds of it, maybe.
Yeah, so video games don't have a ton of representation at the Grammys. Infamously, that Civilization 4 song won at the Grammys. Infamously. And what did I say? Infamously?
Yeah,
give me a break.
You're right, I should have.
But even when the Civilization 4 song won, Baba Metu, that it almost felt because that guy snuck it into one of his albums and not
because it happened years later when he actually got recognition for it.
I don't think the Grammy board knew that it came from a game called Civilization 4, but this come on, Meta Knight's Revenge from Kirby Superstar, and it just got nominated. How I almost makes me wonder why this arrangement specifically. Did this the Grammy? Do they look at all the video game arrangements that ever happen? And are you
nah? We need to. I want to reach out to the 8-bit big band and ask them what the hell all of this is. I'm just gonna play a little bit of it.
They had to promote it. They had to like kind of reach out and try to go through the process. I guess. Yeah, let's hear it.
I can turn it up a little bit.
Very gentle. You did turn it off.
Turn it off. Oh, you didn't hear it still. You might not. You might hear it.
Oh, nice. Tell you what, that's some big band stuff.
Yeah, that's
very good. All right, I wonder.
Oh, I just turned off. All right. Yeah, that's
that.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
so
really good.
I hope it wins. I hope it wins a Grammy. I tell you what. Fuck off, Braveheart.
Yeah, go to hell, Braveheart. What is? I mean, I'm just confused. Like, I guess anytime that you create a new arrangement for music, can it get nominated for a new Grammy? I don't know.
Have to at least be like a commercially released version of it. Like this must be from an album that I don't know, because these days, what does a commercially released album mean anymore? Right. So yeah, I mean, there's so much music and there's so many ways to distribute music that I don't know that world. We know the video game world.
Nothing about music.
Kind of understand the movie world to a degree.
Yes.
I have no idea how the music world works.
Right. Yes, I would have to like start from scratch here, having someone explain to me exactly like how this song got made. Like, what does it mean to be like an arrangement nominated for best arrangement, instrumental or a cappella? Like, how does the Grammys look into this? Like, who is the Grammy? Like, yeah, I would need all of it explained to me. But either way, it's cool. This is neat.
Yes. All right. So I think that's it for the news stories today. We're going to get into questions, and then we'll get into our topic, which is favorite Nintendo game ending. We've gotten some super chats so far. You guys can send in super chats to ask us any of your Nintendo questions, or to tell us your favorite Nintendo game ending, or to tell us whatever the hell you want. If it's a super chat, we will read it and we will respond to it.
Yeah.
But yes, are you ready for these questions now, Jeff?
I am. Should I do super chats, or you want to do the questions first?
Let's do the questions first, and then we'll see more super. Yeah. Nintendo Bro says, "What is the best Smash Brothers item, and why is it the home run bat?" Well, I hate all of the items. I never play. I don't play Smash Bros with items. This was a point of contention.
I'm Mike, and I hate fun.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so much. It's so unfun playing Smash Bros without the items. That's why everybody who plays Smash Bros without items plays 10 times
a bunch of weird perverts.
That's why. No. I'm not saying not everybody does it, but everyone who does play Smash Bros without items seems to play the game significantally more often.
Yeah, but none of them are happy. You can look at them.
I don't lie.
They're all deeply, deeply unhappy with their lives, with the game.
No. What's your favorite item, Jeff?
When I played on the 64, I of course loved getting the hammer. I think it was maybe probably the most powerful one in 64, at least as far as like in my friend group. So yeah, the hammer's the one I most remember. These days, there's so many items, and I don't even understand. I don't understand the game anymore, to be honest. So yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's evident. I mean, the Pokeball's fun just because it's like, oh, what Pokemon are gonna? Especially in the Nintendo 64 one where it was just shitty 2D like pictures of Pokemon that came out of them. That was good stuff there. Winnie featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. What food would you make to be served at Nintendo Land, i.e. Yoshi omelets? Well, first off, I would pick Yoshi's cookies instead of Yoshi's omelets. I'd rather eat the cookies he bakes instead of his weird unfertilized eggs. You know, at Nintendo, Super Nintendo World in Japan, you can actually get like a miniature version of Peach's cake from Mario 64. That's like
I'm well aware. I watch those videos all the time. My kids are really into it, and they're like, "When can we go?" I'm like, yeah, when can we go? God, yeah. I like this question because I'm like sitting here thinking like, what would I do? What would I like the mushroom looking burgers and stuff. Everything they do there, it's really cool. Do you have an answer? Because I'm still thinking.
I try to think if the birthday cake, or not birthday cake, but like, you know, the Princess Peach cake was already such a slam dunk. I'm struggling to think of too many other like foods from Nintendo games that I think about constantly.
Well, I think about food and Mario, I think about the cartoon and how they all liked, you know, lasagna and pasta and pizza.
Yeah, they super stereotyped them, which, you know, of course they did.
Of course they did. Yeah,
cartoon, right. Yeah.
So I'm trying to steer in the opposite direction of that. I'm
trying to even think of something that's not Nintendo. I mean, just as Nintendo, there's got to be. Like, I'm sure once that Donkey Kong thing opens, there's going to be a obnoxious amount of banana
yeah.
Sure,
I would go with a bean-based dish based on the Bean Kingdom from Super Mario or from Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Just lots of different beans. I don't know. That's what I got. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Bean crazy. I don't know.
I can open up a noodle shot based on the
dubious food from Breath of the Wild is good. That's good.
Pretty fun, actually. Yes, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
you could do something like a noodle shop with that one girl from ARMS who's in Smash Brothers, Min Min. They could do a Min Min noodle shop.
Yeah, ramen. Oh yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good there. You know, this is big business for these theme parks. Ever since the whole fucking butterbeer at Harry Potter Land, that changed everything.
Oh, I believe it. Yes, I mean it's the thing when I think about going. It's like I don't know if the kids will like all the rides. They probably will. I don't know if they'll like, any of the stuff at the gift shop. They probably will. But everyone's going to have a pretty good time sitting down at the restaurant eating this themed food that makes you feel like you're in that world. That's cool. And the restaurant itself has like big video screens for windows where you can see the toads making your food. Yeah. It's great, man.
I do the voice for that, actually. They reached out for me a year ago.
Of course, right, yeah. That's why that's the real reason you can't do it on the show anymore. They have the exclusive license to it.
True. Yeah. They pay for it. All right, next question here. Dugan says, okay, so we're playing a game here. One's going to be delayed indefinitely, one will be canceled, and one will be shadow dropped at the Game Awards.
All
right. He says Pikmin 3, but I think he meant Pikmin 4. So we'll say Pikmin 4, Breath of the Wild 2, or Advance Wars Reboot Camp.
What the hell, man?
Okay, so first off, which one is getting canceled?
I don't like this. I
cancel Pikmin. Do it.
I guess I cancel Pikmin. I don't know. My wife really loves it, and after Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I guess I'm in the mood where I could just play Pikmin 3 Deluxe over and over. But I mean, Advance Wars Reboot Camp is just a remake of games I already know I like also. So it's like I could just go play the Game Boy Advance versions. I'll cancel Pikmin, I guess. I'll delay. I'll delay indefinitely is the same thing as cancel. I'll delay indefinitely Advance Wars Reboot Camp and Shadow Drop Breath of the Wild 2, obviously.
Can you imagine? It would never happen. Can you imagine? What would that even look like? Shadow Drop.
That would be
surprise. It's at Best Buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be weird. Yeah.
Jayton says, "What is a game you'd want to see ported backwards, if that makes any sense? So, like any modern game or franchise, but on an older console." Yeah, D-Make. I personally think an SNES Smash Brothers would be awesome. There's like that Flash version of Smash Brothers that almost kind of looked like what I imagine like a Game Boy Advance Smash Brothers would look like. Guys, this is interesting because so many Nintendo franchises have these really long histories that like they kind of have quote unquote D-Make versions, and like some of the newer ones like don't make a whole lot of sense. Like Splatoon, I don't really want that D-made. Like Bayonetta, I don't really want that D-made. I don't know, Jeff. Is there anything here that's popping into your head?
Yeah, it's a thing that like I think there's a 10% chance actually happens, and it's that that prototype version of Breath of the Wild that they made in the NES Zelda, basically the NES Zelda look, but I was gonna say engine. Obviously, it was like the new engine because they had the chemistry system and stuff like that. I would love to play something like that basically enabled you to mess around with this world in a physics and chemistry based way, but have those 2D Zelda style that art and graphics. That looked incredible. If anyone's never seen that, like you have to look it up. It's really cool how they like came up with all these ideas in 2D Zelda and then had to translate them to 3D Zelda. But yeah, I would love to see what that would actually look like as a real game, and I just think like there's a chance that something like that might still happen.
I might be more interested in Xenoblade if it was like an old school JRPG, like pixelated with turn-based combat again, and without so much voice acting. But maybe not. Maybe not. Low Legend says, if they did finally localize Mother 3 with modern enhancements, do you think it would sell well enough to matter, or do you think the game is something people say they want but won't actually support? Man, there's so much mystique around that game now. You have to imagine it would do something if they released it. I mean, at least it would have to at least make up the money that it would cost to port and localize a Game Boy Advance game, right?
Yeah, and Low Rule Legend says with modern enhancements. I don't know necessarily if they even need to do that, but I think here's what I would do if I were Nintendo. I would start making a modern Mother 4, and I would announce that at the same time, And then as you do that, you shadow drop Mother 3 localized, and modern enhancements in terms of it's widescreen and stuff, and maybe has voice acting. I guess maybe I don't even know.
Maybe like a fast forward thing. Yeah, whatever. I wouldn't even do voice acting in a Mother game.
You don't need that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you can do a compilation, right? Right. The 3 Earthbound / Mother games before building up to Mother 4. Yeah.
Right, and you shadow drop those, and then you get, and then by the time Mother 4 comes out, I bet there's enough excitement for that becomes a huge hit. And I really think that a Mother 4 that was made in a modern way would be a massive hit.
Alex says, will we ever get another Nintendogs game? You never want to say never, but it certainly doesn't seem like something that's going to happen anytime soon.
They're doing a Big Brain Academy, and I feel like if they're doing Big Brain Academy, anything's possible.
Is that actually Nintendo?
The way I think they publish it, right? Big Brain. I know they did Brain Age, obviously.
You're right. Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. It is published. Okay, no, it's developed by Nintendo. Yeah. EAD. You're right. So
it's part of the Touch Generation series, Mike. Obviously.
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, it's back. Everybody, Touch Generation is back.
The first Big Brain Academy came out in 2005. Okay, and that was actually still Nintendo on the Nintendo DS. It was just separate from Brain Age. It's kind of weird to bring back this then and not Brain Age.
Yeah, I think that Brain. Did they bring? But there was a Brain Age game, right? There was, and they didn't release it in North America.
Yeah,
they released it for Switch in Europe and Japan, and we talked about this. And the reason that we talked about it on GamesBeat sites, I'm sure, but the reason they didn't bring it out here, I think, is because there's like issues with the FDA and making claims about brain, like lowering your brain age and stuff like that. And a lot of those companies that offer that as like a subscription service have gotten in trouble for that. And I think Nintendo's like, we don't even want to spend the time with the lawyers to figure out how to sell this game in North America, so we'll just sell it elsewhere.
Right. But Nintendogs was huge on the DS. I feel like the 3DS games, even though it was a launch game for that system, didn't make much of an impact, right? And it's like it didn't even seem to have many legs, even though dogs have 4 legs.
Yeah.
But like people stopped talking about that one. Like the discussion around the 3DS was how everybody was upset at the price, not that everybody was really excited or happy about Nintendogs plus cats.
Yeah. Also, cancel culture came for Touch Generations. You can't be a Touch Generation anymore. You can't do that. That's
anyway. Reese Elliott asks, Jeff Grubb thinks Game Boy and Game Boy Color are the same platform. Does that mean he thinks the Wii and GameCube are also the same platform? This is an excellent question, Jeff. What do you say?
That's a trash question. No, it's not. There's obviously a generational delineation there, and there's not with the Game Boy Color game. Okay, there's a small one, but it's not as delineated as it would be with like between the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, and then also the Game Boy and Game Boy Color is closer to like Nintendo DS, Nintendo DSi, and 3DS and new 3DS. Now, obviously, it was in this weird spot where Nintendo didn't exactly know that's how they were going to do things going forward. So it kind of felt like a successor a little bit, but in the end, it's in the end,
I still see you, and I still see a million people constantly talk about the Game Boy Color in a way that nobody ever specifically talks about the DSi. No one ever has to differentiate the DSi.
Where's the line, Jeff?
No one ever has to differentiate between the new 3DS and the 3DS. People just say 3DS.
Yes,
everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Okay, can we just say it's a weird one and move on with our lives, everybody? It's a weird one.
If you're right. See, all right, fine, fair enough. Okay, Jeff, I think that's it for those questions. I've been getting some super chats. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah.
You can end with your first. Well, no, never mind. I was going to say don't talk about the ones with the endings. We'll get to those later.
Okay. Let's see here. From Slippery Moose Cakes, Jeff, longtime fan of your work on Baywatch.
Nice.
What is that a reference to? Am I? Yeah. Okay. And then have you?
Well, your hair. I don't know. You must look like somebody from Baywatch. I used to.
Just like David Hasselhoff.
They used to be kind of cozy watching, just because it's so. That is so 90s syndicated TV, man.
It's a certain sort of like low vibes, chill.
It's beachy. It's other things.
Right, there was the Celebrity Deathmatch episode where it was David Hasselhoff versus John Tesh, and they called it something like low vibes television, and they were trying to be who's going to be the king of that. But
I was just thinking about Celebrity Deathmatch yesterday. You're in my head, Jeff.
I'm right there, man. We're on the wavelength. All right, Slippery Moose Cakes continues. Have you finished the Halo campaign yet? No. And if so, are you feeling good about it? I'm feeling good about what I played in the preview section, and you can read my stuff on that, and I can't say anything else. I just can't right now.
Yes, that's how we got in Nintendo jail, was by being loose with embargoes. So,
and this one is
especially review embargoes. So
this one I actually signed something, so I'm not going to mess around with it. Anybody, it's not like a normal embargo where it's like, oh, just agree to this, and if you screw up, we'll put you in Nintendo jail. Here, it's like there are legal ramifications. So
it might be real jail.
Yeah, it might be real jail. Yeah. So hey, you'll hear soon. I'll say that I think that the preview impressions should give you a really good vibe about what people are thinking. From Casual, dear dogs, what's the PB&J of Nintendo games? So I guess, Mike, first we should probably define what is the PB&J of something. Like, what does that mean? It's like just kind of like
basic, it's easy, it's simple, but still kind of satisfying. Gets the job done.
And it's like it's not like a one ingredient thing. It's a mix still. So it's like there's some complexity to it.
I wasn't thinking about the mix. Yeah, okay, yeah, but not like okay, yeah. I mean, God, my first thought was just like that's what I think actually 2D Mario is to me in some sense. Like I like 2D Mario games a lot. I very very rarely get super ecstatic about them anymore. Like to me, like the 3D Mario games is like a filet mignon, right? And playing Super Mario Brothers 1 these days is like a PB&J. It's still good. I still like it, and obviously there's a lot of other factors there with like historical significance and all that stuff. But that's where I'm going. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, the PB&J of Nintendo games. I would say that I liked your answer, but to me I think it's maybe Kirby games. Kirby games just feel like it's where you're gonna get something. You know what it is? You get something familiar with like the peanut butter, and Kirby is like this thing that feels like the character version of peanut butter. And then the jelly there's like a lot of options there. You can use grape jelly, you can use strawberry jam. You get add a little bit of a flavor on there on top of the peanut butter, and that's like all the mixtures that you could do with the different kind of gameplay that you have with Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's. I don't know. Every Kirby game feels pretty significally different from the next one.
Pinball.
Yeah. There's all kinds of different stuff there that you could do. So yeah, I think Kirby's my answer. Got a couple from J Stud McLovin. Love how you guys validate super chats with real responses. Yeah, no problem. Some streamers read them like a chore, leaving me feeling like losing the losing sound from Price is Right. We try not to leave people feeling that way. And this show's about like your guys' contributions and coming in and helping us make the show together. So yeah, we always appreciate the super chats. And as always, you can always email us gamespluspodcast@adventurebeat.com if you want to get us without doing the super chats. But if you want to like interact with the show, this is the best way, or to join the Patreon.
That's actually the most comfy TV watching ever. Is I'm back. I'm like 10. It's a sick day at school. My parents are busy, so I'm at my grandpa's house watching The Price is Right with him, and he's got like cookies and pop for me or something. Like, that is the most comfy thing I can think of in the world. Wow.
Yes, but Price is Right is definitely like the thing where it's like, oh man, I am staying home from school. I am going to watch this. This is I agree.
I always loved it.
J Stud McLevin follows up. Of course, this is the ending question, so I could skip that. All right, let's see. Curry Douglas, Witcher 3 or Skyrim for the Switch. Both are on sale for $30, and I haven't played either. I would go Skyrim.
Yeah, I'm not sure how both ports hold up on the Switch. I think they both run pretty well, right?
I think Skyrim definitely runs better. The Witcher 3 runs. It is going to be. You're going to feel the degradation of the lower resolution.
Yeah, the resolution more than anything there.
But it runs fine. It's kind of a miracle port. But if all things being equal, what would you choose, Mike?
Well, I'll say this. I think if you're more interested in just like the straight up exploration and role playing, I'd play Skyrim. If you're into it more for like a good fantasy story, maybe Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think that's a good breakdown.
Maybe even better like combat mechanics too. I would say Witcher 3.
Yeah, I got teach their own. From Skitiddles, Jeff, Monolith is obviously making a AAA sequel to Gotham City Impostors 2. Stop getting people's hopes up for another Lord of the Rings game. Yes, I should never have mentioned that last time I was on Grubb Snacks, because you're right. Lord of the Rings game is probably not happening. From MDY, can't talk about the Banished lest you become one. Or you can't. Okay. So I think this must just be about me not breaking the embargo.
Right. Which one? He capitalized Banished. Is that one of those code names?
No. Banished is the enemy group from Halo Infinite. So they are the ones that are on the Zeta Halo.
That's Banished Jeff. Banished Jeff. Banished Jeff.
What the hell did I do? What the hell did I do?
You know what you did.
From Supernova, hello, Jeff and Mike. Do you expect the specifications of a powerful successor to the Switch, such as OLED, 120 hertz, 5G, NVIDIA Tegra 2, or the latest version a strong battery? And does it support DLSS? All right, I'm not sure if I'm following this. Let's see here. Do you expect the specifications of a powerful successor to the Switch? Basically, I think. Do we think it'll have?
Do you think those will be the specifications? OLED, 120 hertz, a 5G NVIDIA Tegra 2, or whatever the latest version would be, a strong battery,
That's
and
what
DLSS.
It is. Okay,
120 hertz seems high. Why would a portable screen need more than 60 hertz? Right? Am I stupid? I mean, I guess phones have 120 hertz screens now. I don't know. As much as I love frame rate, past 60 frames per second, I don't really see much of a difference.
There's diminishing returns, and it's different for everybody. I think that over 60, most people aren't going to notice, I think, and people will be like, of course you notice. After 120, obviously most people won't notice. But to me, I think that there's a chance maybe 120 hertz makes sense if they have DLSS and a bunch of other tech in there to if they create their own sort of FPS boost for like the native to games or something like that. Obviously it wouldn't work exactly the way FPS boost works on Xbox, because whatever. It wouldn't work that way. But even then, I think 120 hertz probably is a long shot. I mean, the thing I most want is an SSD. Like an SSD.
That's what I was about to say. I think the two things they would try to do, obviously a better chip and SSD are the big things there. Especially if the Valve thing's going to have SSDs, so we know we can do it, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's going to support DLSS. Yes, absolutely.
I bet the battery will be pretty bad, because a battery is not something you can show in a sizzle video very easily and convincingly, right? So
yeah, it's a good point. I mean, it'll be like the early Switch model. Yeah. Now, I mean, the new chip would be more efficient and stuff like that, but like they're going to want to take some gains back from battery life and put that towards visuals if they're doing a new thing, specifically for the reasons Mike said, because you show it off in the marketing how good the games look. That matters more than 7 hours of battery life. Like they'll go back to 2.5 to 5 hours of battery life, which honestly has been the range since we've moved beyond the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Like everything since then, all the handhelds since then, the DS, 3DS, the Vita, the PSP, have all had about 2 to 5 hours of battery life. So that's wouldn't be surprising. Yeah, and I think, Mike, that does it for the super chats. So I'm good over here. Should we get into the topic?
Yeah, you guys can send more super chats if you want to, and we'll get back to the one that was about the topic in a second here. You guys can send any about the topic or anything else you want to ask. But our topic is, what Nintendo game has the best ending? Jeff, I'm sure that you've given this a lot of thought throughout the week, and you have a great answer ready for us. Which Nintendo game has the best ending in your mind?
I did think about it, and then I forgot it, and I was like, while you were giving me that little bit of time, I'm like, what did I think of? I have two answers. I'll go with my one, though, that is kind of my answer for almost every question. Link's Awakening has a really good ending where, for me, endings are about like building up. It needs to deliver on the promise of the game, right? It needs to be something. It needs to be a payoff. And throughout Link's Awakening, and spoilers for Link's Awakening, and probably every game, Mike, because this is a spoiler-filled topic.
Well, I told people to be kind with spoilers, so it's not too bad, but
Link's Awakening is an ancient game, and it's your own fault if you haven't played the new version.
Everyone knows it's a dream, don't worry.
Yeah, it's a dream, right. So you go in there, and it's like, you're inside this windfish's dream, and everyone's telling you this, and like, hey, you don't know what's going to happen if you wake up the windfish. Are you going to disappear along with everything else? Like, what's going to happen there? And you go through it, and you defeat the final boss, which is kind of like this weird amalgamation of other bosses and Ganon and not quite Ganon. And you take that out, and you play the instruments, and you wake up the windfish, and it does these great Game Boy cutscenes to basically which are just mostly like static images, but have like really nice animation. They used a lot of cool tech to make that work. And yeah, you see like the way the instruments play and wake up the windfish, and you end up just kind of floating in the ocean back where you started. And I don't know, to me, just that delivering on that promise right there was just like, oh yeah, that really hit me really well. Honestly, my other answer was another dream game, but I'll see if anyone else mentions that. So
what, Mario 2?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. And it's kind of, someone asked about this. So to me, like the ending is kind of like the whole it's the build up to the final boss, then like everything that happens after that. That's what I kind of. It's like the last act.
Yeah. And the last dungeon in Zelda Link's Awakening is also pretty good. The dungeon before that is pretty rough, but that last dungeon is very good. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole just like seeing that egg on that mountain is such a unique image. Yes. You see it in the very beginning and see even on the logo, right? And the title screen. You just like want to go there so bad the entire game, and it is the final destination. And then like when it cracks and you're finally in there, it's really cool.
Yes.
I have 3 answers, and 2 of them are pretty obvious ones. So I think our community brought them up, so I'll let them handle those. But my other one doesn't get that much love, and it's the ending to Kirby's Adventure on the NES.
Oh, okay.
I love that one. I wrote about it one time even. It's still one of my favorite stories I did. It's just so like at first you fight King DDD, which was the boss from the first Kirby game. And at this time, this is the second Kirby game, right? So you fight him again, and it's very similar to the fight in the last game. Although like the last game, it was like you fought him in a boxing ring. It was almost kind of like silly. It was like, oh, we're having a boxing match against this giant penguin. Here you're fighting him in front of the Fountain of Dreams. And it's like there's this gravitas to it that it usually is not in the Kirby franchise. But Fountain of Dreams is so cool. I love that thing. They turned into a level in Melee, and it's been in a bunch of the Smash games since then. And I just freaking love that level. I love its music. I love the whole look of it. I love the concept of it. The Fountain of Dreams, just really cool stuff. So you fight DDD, and then you beat him, and then it's like, oh, there's actually a bigger threat. And there's like, I'm always a sucker for the bad guy heel face turns. So that DDD like sucks you about and shoots you to the sky. So then you have like the series of battles against the real final boss, culminating in like this constantly scrolling battlefield planet thing where you're fighting this guy and you have the star rod and you're just trying to zap him. Really, definitely the best final sequence of an NES game. It was pretty incredible stuff what they were able to do on that 8-bit machine with Kirby's Adventure. Kirby's Adventure rules, but that whole ending sequence is what really made it special.
Yeah, I played a lot of Kirby's Dream Land, so I never actually played Kirby's Adventure, at least not all the way through. I think I've gone back to test that a little bit recently, but yeah, I've never played through it, and that sounds incredible.
Yeah, I think it's something you might want to look at on the NES library on the Switch some point. Go back to that one. All right, let's get into these community answers here. First from our Discord, and then we can talk about the ones we'll be getting in these super chats here. Turbo Sean says, it's a tough choice, but my favorite ending in a Nintendo game is probably from Super Mario Odyssey. It kind of has it all. A cool boss fight, a wild escape sequence with a neat twist, and some cute comedy in the end. Actually teared up a little from happiness when the vocal track kicks in because I thought the whole ending sequence was such a great high energy ending to an incredible game. Yeah, I tell you what, I absolutely love it. I mean, I loved Mario Odyssey, and like the only thing I was worried about is if it tripped up at the end, and it doesn't. It did not at all. It absolutely stuck the landing. And that's such an important part with games. I think the best games ever that usually have strong endings, and we can see what happens when a game doesn't have a great ending. Like Mass Effect 3 had a bad ending, and that seemed to like devalue the whole trilogy for a bit there. It kind of devalued the brand for a bit. It's only recently recovered to a point where people kind of like got over that a little bit. Like even for me personally, I still love Breath of the Wild, obviously, but my biggest gripe is that I think the ending is a little flat. Mm-hmm. That's my one gripe with that game, and like it's not that big a deal, but I wish it was anywhere else. We said the same thing about Hitman 3 from this year, where the ending is just a smidge flat, and and you just wish that the fault.
Deathloop is having the same problem where its ending is kind of it just feels like it fizzles out, and people are holding that against it for sure. So, So yeah, I think Mario Odyssey is a really good answer, though. Man, that's such a good game.
Yeah, I mean the moment. Yeah, and I think, not to spoil it, but the moment where like you realize that you're about to capture Bowser, like that's so cool. Like you're sitting there like, what you can do, and like there's Bowser, and just like the games were teaching you the whole time, if enemies are not wearing a hat, you can capture him, and here he is for the first time not wearing a hat. It's like, wow, this is incredible.
Yep, and it's the music, everything there. It's just fantastic.
Right in the moment you go into the 2D plane, and it's like the 2D browser sprite from Mario. Oh God,
yeah, what a good game.
Just killing it. Yeah, just ridiculously good game. Gigi64 says parades are pretty great. What's also great is having one close out a big adventure. It's Super Mario RPG 11 and 7 stars. You get to see a parade of all the characters you've met along the way. It's a great way to end a lighthearted journey and showcase the game's excellent cast of characters. Yeah, Mario RPG has a fantastic ending. You have that great parade with like every little side character showing up again. They each have like different floats from their respective areas. You got like the boosters section. God, you had like the section with the cloud people. And you also get vignettes of what the characters are up to. Like you see Bowser and his minions rebuilding his castle and stuff like that. Oof, yeah. No, that is very, very good stuff. That's a good
I like
answer.
that one a lot.
Nintendo Bros says, after getting beaten up by Metroid Dread, having a moment of invincible fun was an incredible payoff in that game, and how they got there was great too. But I must say, my favorite ending still goes to Twilight Princess. I cried at Midna's departure. I never been more sad for the hero in green. I know I'm partial as this is my favorite Zelda game, but the way this story concluded was an emotional roller coaster I will never forget. Yeah, Twilight Princess actually did have another great ending. It has another great series of boss fights with Ganon. There's even like the little horse section of it, which is really cool because that was a big kind of mechanic to that game. And like a lot of Zelda games kind of realize that the best way to end is with just like a one-on-one duel with the human form of Ganon. That's actually what's most interesting and intense. That was actually when I beat Twilight Princess. That was back when I was having a lot of panic attack issues. So I had a panic attack at the end of it because it was like so intense, and I was like, because I was so in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm about to beat this game. That's so important. And like yeah, it was before I was properly medicated for that.
I never beat Twilight Princess because as I was getting toward the end, my Wii got stolen, which is a story I've told before, and I never went back and played it. Although I am very much getting the urge to go back and actually play through that again.
Well, at this point, you're probably hoping for a Switch port,
exactly,
right?
yes. And I'm like going back and forth between that and maybe like just playing the the version on Dolphin, but we'll see.
Hotsuke says, the ending in Fire Emblem Three Houses is so incredibly satisfying. Loved every minute of that game. Well, that game has multiple endings. I wonder which one to talk about. I saw two of them, and I did like both of them quite a bit. So that's a fun answer. Kanubo says, does the end of Pokemon Silver/Gold count? The battle versus Red on Mount Silver at the end is such an incredible finale. Alone, the music gives me goosebumps. Yeah, no, that's great stuff. That's such a cool twist.
Yeah, it's such a good idea.
You beat the Elite Four like in the first game, but then it like opens up this whole second act of the game where you revisit the map from the first titles, and it ends with this battle from like against the little silent protagonist from the first game, and his party is just monstrous. Was it like a level 90, like a level 100 or something Pikachu or 99, whatever? It's incredible. It was super good. Visualizer says the bad ending of Banjo-Kazooie where Gruntilda steals your sister's good looks and comes out of the transformation machine as a smoking hot witch. Well, I never specified, so
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's fair. Absolutely, everyone loves the hot witch from Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah. Winnie featuring Dante from Devil May Cry says, second Mario Odyssey for best ending. It has a good, almost certainly pointless character moments, and that's the best I can say about it, spoiler free. Yeah, there's some great, the interactions with Mario and Bowser are incredible.
Yes, they're very good.
It's just kind of like acknowledges the fact that like, it's like, that rivalry is so weird at this point now. Like, there's like clearly not murderous intent, or maybe there is. It's hard to tell anymore what's going on there sometimes. Anderson64, favorite ending is Wind Waker. Great last fight. Awesome visual to end it. The best Zelda conclusion. Yeah, so that's one of my answers would be Wind Waker. That whole thing there with going down to like the sunken remains of Hyrule. That final dungeon is a bit fine, whatever. It's mostly, I think you refight some bosses and that's it. But then like the final boss sequence against Ganon, and then of course the actual final fight with Ganondorf, where it's just a one-on-one duel. You're on like the top of this tower, and the sea is like collapsing around you. It's this incredible visual. What a great fun boss fight, and like the ending of it, where you literally like stab him in the face with a sword. It's like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. That's really cool. Oh yeah, very very good stuff. That was incredible. Like that's the opposite in terms of sticking the landing for the Zelda series, and that's why I probably still like Wind Waker more than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Wind Waker's ending is very good. I mean, it's memorable. It's burned into my brain. Yeah, I'll never forget that image.
No, absolutely not. Schaefer says the best ending to almost any video game is The Conduit 2. It was an FPS for the Wii, and almost nobody played it, and I couldn't tell you anything about the story, but the ending cutscene is on YouTube, and it's incredible. Well, that's interesting. Hey, Sunday we're gonna have to look at that, huh?
Yeah, just watch that.
Dugan says Star Fox 64 is an underrated ending. It varies based on which path you take and subtly baits the player to take another run. Once you get the final ending, you get a cliche but satisfying father-son moment. Also, the credit roll shows the Star Fox team running together out of the R-Wing ships. This is a tease for the on-foot multiplayer mode that you can unlock Such a great game. No, so you're right. Star Fox 64, especially that true ending there, that actually is pretty cool. It is cliche, but like it still worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Napper says Super Metroid, the final battle and the moments leading up to it are insane on your first playthrough. It's not often I finish a game and instantly want to start over. Yeah, this was my other like generic
one,
but probably correct answer. This would probably really be my first choice. Super Metroid's ending is just ridiculous. Everything with the baby Metroid for the moment.
Talk about payoffs.
Yeah. It's incredible. Like with a game without that much story, but just something that was set up in the previous game and in the beginning of this game, and just that payoff and the way it's kind of echoing but riffing on the original Metroid. Just very, very good and satisfying stuff there.
Yep, it's the kind of thing that can like carry a series forward for decades, and it has. Right. It's like we're still dealing with those story ramifications through to today.
One of the like ending rewards on Metroid Dread is there's like you get concept art from like the other Metroid games, not concept art, but like new art that they made, and one of them is like from that ending from Super Metroid, and it's really, really good. I just like looking at that picture. Wildfire Alex says, my favorite Nintendo game ending of all time is a title that has made me cry, scream with anger, feel total despair, and have hope for the future. It's none other than the game North America never truly got, Mother 3. The finale still has me emotionally drained, but it also left a major, indelible impression on me. Without going into spoilers, it doesn't end like a typical Nintendo title, or for that matter, a regular video game title, as it leaves the player question what happened to the characters when the end credits start rolling. Mother 3 is one of the greatest stories ever told in gaming, and I still tear up when the final music plays during the pivotal moment and the ending plays out. Honorable mention goes to Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger. Yes, those count as Nintendo games to me. Man, I sure want to play Mother 3 at some point. People sure do seem to like that game, huh?
Yeah, people seem to really love it. And I think it's a cool looking game too. It's, it was a Game Boy Advance game. So I'm like, I kind of want to go back and try it.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel pretty stupid just waiting for Nintendo to port it. Like maybe once I get my Steam Deck, I'll just figure out.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That'd be a good way to play it for sure. Yeah.
Jayton says, I say his name different every time I say Jayton Jotton. I'm not sure. Then he corrects me, and I'm like, I'm never going to remember. I'm sorry.
Jayton sounds right.
Jayton sounds right. I don't know why I want to give it a soft A. Jayton is almost certainly right. I haven't beaten a lot of games, but the ending of Super Smash Bros. Brawl was satisfying. The last minute Sonic Edition and boss fight made me feel good completing it. Man, it's a good thing Brawl has that subspace emissary solo mode, because otherwise I would have almost no reason to ever think about it.
Redeeming about that game.
That's right. Well, Grubb Bear says, I'm sure someone else will bring up Wind Waker because it's a true chef's kiss ending, but I want to highlight Mario 3D World instead. In terms of narrative, it's clearly not the strongest ending to a game, but the last minute of the boss fight where your Bowser problems are multiplied was absolutely incredible the first time I played through it, and it was one of my all-time favorite ending sequences. Looking up a video of the last level, I saw parts of the boss fight that I don't remember at all, so it's not love for the fight that made the final sequence stick in my mind. That final sequence, though, oh baby, yeah, that's pretty great stuff there.
Yeah, man, these recent 3D Mario games really do have great finales. Yeah. They really do.
And I'm not always a giant fan of like a lot of Mario games lately have kind of had like the final challenge is like an obstacle course more than anything else, right? Or like a running away from Bowser moment. But that's definitely probably the best of them. That was pretty cool.
I agree.
Jeremy G says, gotta go with Majora's Mask, a unique final level and boss, the end credits that go through the whole town and show me the mostly good things that happen to all the people as a result of you saving the day. All of it tugs on the heartstrings a bit. There you go, Jeff. More motivation for you to play Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask I've played a bunch of times, but I
don't know why. I'm thinking my brother.
Yeah.
You're both idiots. I get you two mixed up.
That's fair. I get that. But Majora's Mask is fantastic. It's got a great. I mean, yeah, it's one of those ones where like you didn't know what to expect from it, and then they really delivered on that story.
Jeff, were you looking up Hot Gruntilda on Google? Is that what was going on earlier?
I'm just saying, like the collective Google search history of this podcast now is Hot Gruntilda and Daisy. And people are saying Crystal, but that's not us. That's our fans. That's our listeners.
We never said what the results were for our poll from last week, where we asked if people thought Daisy was a redhead or brunette. Brunette won.
I realized
think it's like 2 to 1. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I put it on Spotify too. I think that might have ended. We could check that out later. Yeah.
Alex says Pokemon Explorers of Darkness has a weirdly emotional first ending. Your character dies. The best friend flashes back through your lives together as he tries not to die himself. There's mourning, and the god of time revives you because all of a sudden there's a second half to the game. Well, that's funny. Is Explorers of Darkness one of the mystery dungeon titles? I can't quite remember.
I mean, to me, it sounds like one, but I mean, that's just the word explorer doing a lot of heavy lifting there for me. I have no idea, Mike.
It's got to be. Reese Elliott says A Link Between Worlds is fucking magical.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to say this part. The revelation that blank still blows my mind. The music, the gameplay, and everything just come together. Perfect end to a perfect game. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. That's my favorite final boss fight against Ganon, as opposed to Ganondorf. That Ganon fight is really cool. The way it uses the whole get stuck onto a wall mechanic, and like the surprise where it's like the first time you actually find yourself, you're able to attack while you're in the wall. Really cool stuff. Yeah, I really want to play that game again. I'm not going to lie. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Jeff, do we have any super chat answers here, or just super chats in general now? I can get through the rest of them.
J Stud McLuffin says, of course, the best ending is Metroid and Wind Waker. Totally agree. And then let's see, J Stud McLuffin has kind of a tangential topic here. What big end game has the best post game? I say Super Mario Odyssey. That one's very good. Was it like not Rainbow Road? What do they call it in Super Mario 3? Yeah, the Super Mario 3D World. The one.
Yeah, there was just like the different worlds, but I know there's extra worlds there, and those are also very good.
Yes,
I do like Odyssey the most though. I had a lot of fun just going back to those worlds and unlocking all those extra objectives, and the worlds were all slightly different. And there's even new worlds. There's even like new things to do. Well, there's a couple of new worlds. It's really cool.
And then Game Dad says, not a Nintendo game, but Red Dead Redemption, such an iconic game, and the ending is for sure a tearjerker. I wonder if Red Dead Redemption 1 will ever come to Switch. I wonder if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I always wonder why not, but man, that is an all-time great ending.
Right now they're too busy putting out the fires with the GTA trilogy. So
yeah, that's right. Absolutely. We just got another super chat.
Yeah, Jared Helder, not Nintendo, but Katamari Damacy's final level. Katamari Damacy's, it has, there's a lot going on in that game with that story anyhow, or at least like with the characters and stuff, and then they deliver on that ending as well.
Yeah.
Let me remove this.
I just did. I think I just realized somehow I don't think any of our mods are here somehow. How's Turbo Sean not a mod?
I don't know. We'll fix it.
Yeah, he can handle these things.
That does it for the super chats, though. So we're all caught up. We have the entire thing. So any other games you want to mention for this? I know you had like 3, so probably not. But
the other 2 I wanted to talk about were Wind Waker and Super Metroid, and they got brought up because, of course, they're kind of the right answers. And Kirby's Adventure was my one I thought that everybody would kind of forget about. So I will say I'm glad somebody brought up Mario RPG because I didn't think about that. Yeah. That is certainly a correct answer as well.
Yeah, and so many people mentioned Super Mario Odyssey. God, that's a really good point. That is a really great finale.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, I think that does it there. And then, so Jeff, you said you bought Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on sale. How's that been going for you?
Yeah, it's you were right. It's okay. Like, it's okay. And I'm glad I waited for a sale. I wish I would have waited for it to be a little bit cheaper, but I'm enjoying my time with it. It's fine. It's Diablo with Marvel heroes, and not quite as good as Diablo, obviously, but still, it's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and I wish I had someone like to sit on the couch and play with me. It seems like it'd be perfect for that. But even on my own, I'm still like, this is mostly mindless fun. I'm enjoying myself. I probably won't play through the whole thing, but I'm glad I have it now. And if once my kids get older, I'd be like, I have that game. Maybe we could just sit down and play that together sometime. So, but yeah, it's totally fine. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I spent any time with on the Switch this week, but I've been kind of busy with other stuff. So yeah, it's mostly been that.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun playing games just because of playing Halo and playing some Tales of Arise. But on Switch, I've just been playing through KOTOR. I've been playing a lot of it. I'm on the last planet for the star maps. I've gotten past the big plot twist, which is still fantastic. So just been really enjoying that. So hopefully I'll be beating that around this week, I think, because I'm making good. I didn't think I was going to play through all of KOTOR, Jeff. I'll tell you what. I was like, here's the code for this game that they ported, and now I'm like, this game's fantastic. I just want to play through it again. Good stuff. Yeah. But
it's right there on my Switch too. I keep looking. I'm like, I want to get back to that because I just haven't played it in so long, and I don't necessarily I don't care about waiting for the remake. I just want to experience that story again.
Right.
So.
It's cool because as much as I am loving it, I do see like places where the remake can make.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you like where.
I think the big thing is just party member balance. So like I love the droids and I want to just have the droids in my party, but they're just not very good party members. Like the Jedi are very, very good party. Like the Jedi are overpowered, and like you kind of get that, but it's also but
look, there's ways to make the other party members viable as well. At least there should be. But like, you know, do you think it's going to be a turn-based RPG sort of thing with the new game?
I don't think there's no way it's going to be nearly as dice rolly as this game is.
Right. Yeah. This is just like D&D, like 4th edition. I can't remember which rule set it is, but it's basically just D&D rules, and they're probably not going to do that. You're right.
Yeah. No, it'll be a lot more modern than that. There'll be a lot more cooldowns. Right. That's the solution everyone has done for all these things, is having cooldown abilities instead of just having strict. You know, use whatever ability and it all takes up mana or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be a lot of interesting things they can do. Just expanding it even. It's kind of funny. Like in my mind, these worlds are all huge. And it's not like they're small and it's annoying. But like the overall footprint of each planet is relatively small, especially compared by today's standards. Sure. So just like expanding it, making a bunch more side missions, turning it from like a 50-hour game to a 100-hour game, right? You know,
right? And just not by adding a ton of new content, but by expanding what's already there. That makes a ton of sense to me, and I think that's exactly what they'll end up doing.
Like, I don't want to go to more planets, but I just want to go to more of Tatooine and more of Manon, stuff like that.
And like the game like suggests that stuff in the background and stuff like that. So there's like ways to do that.
It is funny, just like the times where you can actually just straight up tell like stuff was cut from the game. Like people when you're doing the swoop bike racing, people are constantly telling you like, oh, buy like upgrades for your swoop bike, or a store will be like, oh, you can buy your swoop bike upgrades here, and then they just don't have them, and you look online, they're like, yeah, there's no swoop bike upgrades. That's not actually a thing. It's like, oh, okay.
Talking about swoop bikes makes me want to play Shadow of the Empire and the bad swoop bike level, but yeah, whatever.
I like that swoop. I mean, it was I couldn't control it.
Me too. Yeah. But it's still bad. Like I can tell it's bad, even though I really like it a lot.
That's it, Jeff.
Okay. Well, well, you got any plans for any games coming up that you're looking forward to, like for December? We're getting December. I mean, other than Endwalker.
I'm just kind of I'm actually, there's like one more thing I want to do in Final Fantasy 14 before Endwalker comes out. There's like one kind of side storyline I want to finish up. And early access, I think, starts Friday. So
play the Forgotten City this week.
Not this week might be rough. We'll try. I'm going to play it soon. I'm going to play it before the year of the end.
Okay, I was going to end of the year. My assumption here is Endwalker comes out, and then that's goodbye, Mikey.
Right. I know. Well, I'll play so much of it that I'll eventually need a break. Maybe we'll see.
All right, Forgotten City is a good palate cleanser. All right, Mike. I don't have anything else. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Last of the Nintendogs this week. Oh, next week, I think our topic will be, in light of this Kirby Grammy thing, I want you to nominate a Nintendo song for a Grammy. It can be any if you want. It can be an arrangement if you want. You can make up a fake category.
Which music do we use for the end now? Do I still just use Cruisin'?
I think you just still use Cruisin', Jeff. You got this.
I did it.
You did it, Jeff. Great job.
What a hot mess.
Yes, you are. You can nominate a Nintendo song, whatever you think that means, for a Grammy.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. You can come hang out with us on the Discord, discord.gg/GameMess. Yeah, and then GamesBeat Decides is on Friday.
That's right. You can find me on Twitter at Tokoto. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast. We're going to have a new episode up tomorrow about the Santa Claus, the Tim Allen movies. Look forward to that.
I hope they announced Cruisin' Blast 2 at the Game Awards. That's what they should really do.
They're too mad that they got slighted. They didn't get nominated.
Yeah, they got shaft. That's an embarrassment. Although, if he just brings them on there to play that song, even though it's not like nominated or anything, still it should be there. All right, everybody, bye.
Bye.
Cruising style. Cruising style. It's a